Welcome to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast, where insights, attitudes, and methods for success get illuminated. Learn what leaders and change workers have done and are doing now to create magnificent futures. We interview great guests who inspire you to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Be sure you visit our website at self-helpcoaching.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, just relax as you listen. You can do something else, but be ready to make an important note. And let's get started.
The title of this interview is Magical Mind Mastery with Serena Stone. And we're going to be talking about how to develop and activate your magical mind to live your magical life to your full potential. Serena Stone is a world-class magician, hypnotist, freelance speaker and educator, and authority on the subject of magical mind mastery, applying her 30 plus years of skills and experience in the entertainment, magic, hypnosis, and business worlds. Serena's goal is to share her message of magical mind mastery in ways that are engaging, entertaining, memorable, actionable, and magical. I like that. And before we even get started with Serena, let me just, we met on Rex Sykes' NLP training. We're both NLP practitioners, and Rex was my main NLP teacher years ago, and he's indeed a mentor. So this is just a review for us. But then we had a small group training. It was Serena and Jim Harris, and that's where I met Serena. And Jim didn't make it one time, so it was just Serena and I. And man, we had such a great rapport. I mean, a palpable rapport. It was extraordinary. And we weren't using NLP techniques on each other either. I don't think I was, but we had an extraordinary rapport, and we were fascinated by each other's history as well as what we're doing now. And I was really impressed. So I said, hey, I got to get you on my podcast. And Serena said, yeah, I definitely got to be on that podcast. And we had an interview scheduled weeks ago on Friday the 13th, coincidentally, which I have no doubt that Serena chose specifically. But you didn't know, Serena, that I actually was born on Friday the 13th. So you're dealing with the real McCoy over here. With all that said, everyone, meet Serena Stone.
Hi.
Hello, Serena. How you doing?
Doing real good, Tony.
Great. And you're out in Chicago, right?
Milwaukee.
Oh, wait, Jim's in Chicago. You're in Milwaukee, right?
Right, exactly.
Right.
He's just down the road from me.
Just down the road, and left and a right.
Right.
Great.
Or left. Correct.
Thanks for coming on.
Sure, thank you for having me.
You've got such a great biography. I mean, I said the biography, but I mean some of the other details or major parts which I didn't mention, or perhaps some of the nuances. But you really led a very interesting life. You've done a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, we didn't even mention that you were in the Air Force and you did really cool things like that. And that's one thing we have in common. We're both veterans. But we've been around and we've done some things. Serena's been in personal development for a long time, especially on the magic side. Yeah, NLP and all that. And I've always been interested in magic, but I have never been a practitioner of it. Tell me about how you got into magic.
Now, are you talking about magic of the mind or this kind of magic?
Well, but all the way. So 99% of the audience is listening. If if you want to see us, which I really recommend doing that, you have to check out YouTube. But if you didn't see it, Serena just magically took off half her finger. But we've all seen that one since we were 5 years old. Yeah, both kinds.
Okay. Well, and before I get started, I just want to say that was such a wonderful introduction you gave for me. I want to meet me.
We'll meet one day. I know we will.
So, I did my first professional magic show, which means you get paid, when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
And I had gotten interested in magic from my uncles. They would do card tricks and things like that when we would go over to visit. And there was, I think it was like junior or senior year in high school. One of my buddies we all had to do a report on something, and he did a report on hypnosis. So he did a hypnosis induction, and I said I wasn't affected. I wasn't affected at all. And he said, "Oh, are you kidding? You were the best subject. You were the one that was following along the best with everyone." So that intrigued me, and I started getting interested in it. When I joined the Air Force, I was totally focused on what I was doing, but I was doing magic. My job was running a camera. So I was doing, what do you call it? Camera magic, movie magic.
I love it.
The Air Force was sending me around the world doing secret projects and filming them. And
cool.
Me filming people that always would say, "Don't film my face."
Yeah, right. We'll take it out in post-production. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
And we never do.
So I was doing that, and part of the idea with that was at the same time I was also going to the comedy clubs around Southern California area, learning how to do comedy magic on stage. Harry Anderson was one of my heroes, Jonathan, the amazing Jonathan, their styles and such. So I was trying to create my own style on stage doing the comedy magic. And on a Sunday night, and all this time, I've always been interested in metaphysics since I was a kid. I have an old book that I still go back to because it has great things in it, and it's called Instant ESP. I can't remember the author, but I would go back to this book over and over again because it was fascinating to me. And he gave little things that you could do in it, that little exercises that you could expand or experiment with your psychokinesis, telekinetic type powers and things like that.
Right.
So it was a fun thing for me to do when I was a kid. And I got more interested in it when I got out of the Air Force. I moved in with a blonde Mexican witch who lives in the forest.
That sounds like an acid trip. That's true.
That's totally true. I was stationed in San Bernardino at Norton Air Force Base. I was on the Avis, in the Avis Squadron, Aerial Audio Visual Services. And I was the #1 documenter for video photography out of there. I went on ultra secret missions. I could tell you about them, but then I have to kill all of us.
Yeah. Well, you may kill yourself. You're not killing me, let me tell you. Many have tried.
No, I don't want to. I believe in love, and we shouldn't be hurting each other.
All right. It was our first argument, but we're already resolved.
Oh, that went quick.
I'm quick on the healing. I'm quick on the forgiveness.
Me too. All right.
It's the way to be.
So when I got out of the Air Force, I was doing the comedy magic. And then on Sunday nights at one of the clubs, they started having a hypnotist. And it's like, it fascinated me. I eventually became the MC for whatever hypnotist was there on Sundays. Yeah. I met Marshall Silver. I met
I know him. I know
James
of him.
Okay, Jack Lachlan. Jack Lachlan was the best that I saw. He was unbelievable.
Wow.
So from there, I got interested in the hypnosis, and I wanted to make sure I could take care of people. So I joined Hypnosis Motivation Institute in their training.
Right. And that's what led you to personal development and working with people for helping.
I was doing it before that. I mean, just getting together and talking with people and finding out what's going on. So when I got into the hypnosis courses, it was 6 months of hypnosis training and then a 6-month internship so that they could train you and you can have case histories with the group so that everybody got better and better at it. I thought it was very, very well put together. And the thing that I learned through doing this was that NLP was how you made the changes, and hypnosis was how you helped set them in better.
Yes.
Because I could make the changes. I'll just give you a quick example. A lady comes in, she has a deathly fear of elevators. She took the stairs up. I had a 50-minute session with her. At about 40 minutes, she said, "I have to go to the bathroom." And I went, "Okay, yeah, sure, go to the bathroom and come on back in when you're done." So it gets to the 50 minutes and she doesn't return. It's 55 minutes. I got 5 minutes to before my next client. So I go, okay, I'll just go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, the elevators open up, and there's the lady that was my previous client, the one for the elevator. She's there and the doors open up and she goes, oh my goodness, I forgot to come back. I've just been going up and down in the elevators. It's been so fun. And she goes, all right, well, I gotta go now. Okay, bye. And she presses the button and closes and she goes down.
Wow, that's so great. Okay, so you hung it, you made the change with NLP, but you kind of hung the change with hypnosis. That's
Right. Yeah.
that anecdote. How did you
Yeah.
hang it with hypnosis? You do post hypnotic suggestion. What is it?
Yeah, it was pretty much content free from my perspective, because they've been making the changes that they want to make. And then I, from what they've told, I already know, and we've worked on the things that they wanted to make the changes for. The thing that tends to happen is we'll make a change and then we'll slip back to the old way.
Right.
So with the NLP, it was pretty much, 75%, they're going to stick with what I just gave them. So with the hypnosis, I'm making it more 95, 97% that they're going to actually have the change that they want.
Yes. Right.
And it just sinks in the new information on deeper and makes it more connected. And then future pacing with repetition on.
For those who don't know, future pacing is where we describe, the future where they'll be able to use the changes that we're introducing right now.
Right.
That's the audience. That's for the audience, the uninitiated.
Yeah, sure, I get that. Sure.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
By the way, so I love hypnosis too. Although I'm not a hypnosis practitioner, though I'm familiar with a lot of the techniques. I've read a bunch on it, and I was certified as a coach by a hypnosis institute. But I just want to share a quick anecdote. When I started smoking cigarettes again about 10 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, here we go again. But I had this self-hypnosis course from Nightingale Conant that an NLP practitioner who was teaching me years before that had sent me. So I opened it up after years. I had, it was an inch of dust on it, and I said, okay, I'm finally going to take this. So I took it with a friend of mine and he got nothing out of the course, right? Me, I wanted to make a number of changes, and I really didn't get most of the changes except for the smoking, which worked like you wouldn't believe. So I had absolutely no desire to smoke at all. It was completely foreign and unwanted. So the point that I'm making is that it's subjective. For me, it worked fantastically. For him, who did it with me, it didn't work for him. So I'm sure there are a number of factors. Do you want to cite what factors that you may think that are involved with the effectiveness of hypnosis or self-hypnosis, or from a practitioner?
Sure. I've done sales all my life. I think the first thing I ever did to make money was I sold something. So
I love it.
So John Kappas told us the only difference between hypnosis and sales is spelling.
That's great.
Because, if you buy a big ticket item, what's the one thing you have on the back of the contract? You have a 3-day rescission of your order. You have 3 days to decide whether or not you want to do it. Why is that? Because they know the difference between hypnosis and sales is spelling. So if you're under a hypnotic trance, in 3 days, it's going to go away. If you still want the product, you really wanted the product. If you didn't want the product, you don't. So my thought is the reason someone will get hypnotized and someone won't is the same reason someone will buy something from a salesperson and someone won't.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just that the salesman was in a bad mood that time. Maybe they would have bought it. Maybe it's just that the person doesn't like what the product is. Maybe the person has an issue with what's going on. You totally accepted the hypnosis and he had something where it made it so it didn't work for him.
Right.
But just like a baby, if a baby can't walk the first time, is he just going to give up and go, that's it, I can't walk?
That's it. It'll be crawling from now on.
That's it. I'm crawling. You know, they have the crawling sign and the walking sign to go across the street.
Totally.
So it's, you know,
So it could be mood or state, as we say in NLP, right? They could have been just in a state that was not conducive.
it could be that something happened. There was a noise like that, and he just went, and then he's not where you were, where it was happening. It could be any reason whatsoever.
Right.
And the one thing is if it doesn't work the first time, you don't just go, oh, hypnosis doesn't work on me. Right. That's what so many people do. It's all conditioning. Even, you know, the fact that I say, when I count to 3, you'll close your eyes and go deep asleep, because I've conditioned them to that point. And if they do it right then and they go really deep the first time, that was the conditioning. If it doesn't work for them the first time, I'll do it again. Right. And again if I have to, and again if I have to. That's the conditioning. Totally. And it's, you know, and it's the same with accepting a belief.
You know, the cliche is persistence is the key to success, and it is a cliche, but it's an absolute truth. And it doesn't matter how big or how small the goal or the achievement, it's the same thing. Persist. Whatever's not working, you got to discard. You got to do something else. You got to stick with it for as long as it takes. Right now, I'm working on launching my app, my revolutionary app, Proficio.
Right.
I got to tell you, it's, you know, I'm a recovered alcoholic, 21 years sober. You know, I was homeless in LA, blah, blah, blah. I've been through some stuff. This is the most difficult thing I've ever done. If I quit now, it will never launch. I've been at this 8 years, and we're at the cusp of launching. So I am going to continue to persist until we launch. And that's just the first goal or milestone. After that, there'll be one that's even perhaps more daunting, but you got to persist. You got to keep trying different things or doing what's working, if it's nutrition or whatever, until you get the goal, no matter what it is, no matter how big or small.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I got some pointers that I can share with you on that. I don't want to do it here because it's kind of advanced type things to go over, but you know, remind me about that and let's go over it. Those are the kind of things that I help people with also.
That will be in our secret talks, Serena, that the public is not privy to. Okay, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor real quick, and then we're going to get into the meat of what Serena does about her 3-step process and the other personal development stuff she does. Okay, so let's take a quick moment to hear from our sponsor, and we'll come right back with Serena Stone, the Enchantress.
This episode of Self-Help Coaching is brought to you by Proficio. Do you like learning by yourself or with others? What if you could do both at the same time? Visit www.proficio.io. That's proficio.io, where you can learn in the environment that suits you as you choose.
You're listening to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast with me, your host, Tony Petrozza. We're having an awesome discussion with Serena Stone, the Enchantress, who I have a great rapport with. I don't know what it is. We're just really simpatico. And we talked about hypnosis and the biography. Now we're going to get into the meat of what she does. Now, I heard you have empowered people's lives through your proven 3-step process. What is it? Tell me about this 3-step process.
Oh, wow. I got to remember which one it was. I got a few of them I'm working on right now.
Oh, yeah, wait. It's between the 1-step process and the 5-step process, right in the middle.
Wait, that's too much math. Okay, so let's see. Which one should I go with today? All right. So let's play with this one. When you're with Magical Mind Mastery, let's go over the 3 words that the name of the course. It's actually the name of my business.
Right.
No, it's the name of my course. I'm figuring this all out as I go.
I love it.
The name of my business is Magical Mind Enterprises, and the name of my course is Magical Mind Mastery. And within Magical Mind Mastery, I'm going to be going into several different areas and aspects, just like they do with Chicken Soup for the Soul. So, you know, there's Chicken Soup for the Soul for the single mom, there's Chicken Soup for the Soul for the golfer, and on and on. So, but the main course that they all will branch off of is Magical Mind Mastery. They'll all lead back to that. And magical, we're talking about, when I say magical, we're talking about things that aren't, and then they are. You know, seeing something and going, there's no way that can happen. That's impossible. It just happened like magic. So it's the magic is the things that happen in our life that kind of come to us and we're not expecting it. Maybe it's not as fast as it comes, or not as readily as it comes to us. So that's what the magical part is. Mind is the part that creates it all. Anything we create in our life first has to be a thought.
Absolutely.
And then from the thought, it becomes a belief. And with the belief, that's where we really start to manifest. Just saying you want something isn't going to get it for you. Believing that it's going to be a part of your life, that's when it comes to you quickly and fast. And then mastery is combining those two so that you continually get what you want in life automatically. And when you're making it work, you don't even think about it. So my whole program is getting that working so it works automatically. And the 3 words that I am focusing on with what we're really doing with the whole class is getting people to the point where they're at satisfaction or above, not in a survival mode in it, but in an abundant mode in it, in the 3 different things: being healthy, being wealthy, and being wise. Well, look, like a little W.
That's the way I'll remember it. Like I haven't heard that before. That actually, of course, that's another cliche, but isn't that what you want? I mean, if you don't want that,
that's exactly why I use it. Everybody's known what those 3 things are since they were a kid. It's been ground into their heads,
right.
And those are the 3 things. Those are the 3 root fundamentals
Absolutely.
of living a good life. And it's like like a pedestal. You knock one off, and the other 2 are going to fall also.
How do you define wise? I have like an NLP definition of wise, of wisdom, and that is simply the ability to see things from other perspectives. That's my simple definition of wisdom. And when I do that, boy, I find myself being wise, that I can understand things so much better. I accept things so much better. Things become much more they become much more effortless, and there's less problems by seeing things from other perspectives.
Tony, I swear, I just came up with this. and it feels comfortable running it through my head as you were just talking. Wise is asking the right questions.
Yes, I like that.
You're asking the right whys. Why is it like this? Okay. Why is it like that?
Right, I like
I just thought of that. That's like, oh, that's cool.
There you go. In NLP, we might, what do you call that? Homophonic ambiguity, asking the right why. Right. So what Serena was alluding to or describing was the right whys, WHYS, in the vein of wise, WISE.
Would there be an apostrophe in that? I think there would. When they're wise,
I didn't think there would be this much English questions in this interview. So let's move on. Very good. So excellent. So the 3-step process, it ends with the person having unconscious competence, right? As
there you go. Sure.
Learning process.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and isn't that what any mentor or master wants of their mentees or students or apprentices?
Right.
For them to get to the point where you don't have to think about it anymore.
That's the goal. I find that the 4-step learning process is conscious incompetence, then conscious competence, then unconscious. Conscious incompetence, conscious competence, then
unconscious incompetence.
Yeah, and then total unconsciousness. No, that's not right.
After that one, we just bring out the hammer.
Right, but you want to get to a point where you just don't have to think about it, and you just do it, like driving. You don't think about driving; you just do it.
Unconscious competence.
And I found that the area of conscious incompetence, or perhaps conscious competence, those are the longest phases. But you have to get through them, and it may be years to get through them, depending on what the task or the objective
Sure.
is. But once you resolve them or get through it, then you get to the point of unconscious competence, and then you can do things like drive without thinking about it. But that's what you want to do in anything that you're learning. You want to get to that part, and that takes whatever it takes. It takes however long time it takes, or whatever other resources or methodologies you have to use. You keep doing it. You whether the resources, whether they be internal or external, you keep drawing from them until you get to that point of unconscious competence. Your hair looks great, Serena.
It was getting really warm on my neck. It was inside my shirt. Now everyone knows.
I'm Italian, which means I have more in common with a wolf than I do a human being. So I'm hot right now. I got more hair than a wolf. So great stuff. Let's tell me more about the steps, though. Okay, you talked about the wealthy wise and
Sure. Okay. So right now I'm working on my course. It's called the Magical Mind Prepper. That's the working title, Magical Mind Prepper. And it's a course that helps you get what you want in 30 days.
30 days. That's fantastic.
30 days. And, of course, it's going to depend. And, we were talking about sometimes it takes longer to get something. Sometimes it comes like that. With this course, it's to acquire. Let me just give you an example. I have a course that's like this. It's a part of what drew me to do this. And I got this probably, how old was I? I was probably about 25, 26 years old. And I was living in my car in the Hollywood Hills.
Which is another thing Serena and I have in common. We both lived in our cars.
But we weren't in the same car.
Yeah. No. We were parked next to each other, but we're not in the same one. And we were there coincidentally at the same time, 1991 or two.
No, we waited parked right in front or behind each other.
We were both homeless, living in our cars in Los Angeles in 1992. How's that for a great coincidence?
People would ask me, where do you live? I'd say Casa de Subaru.
Right. I used to love saying, hey, I slept in Beverly Hills last night.
Yeah, I went to Vic Tanny every morning to get all ready for work.
So go on.
So I forgot what I was talking about.
So did I. Where are we? Who am I talking to? You were talking about magical mind mastery.
Right. Okay. So I'm living it. So, I was giving you the example. Well done. So I was living in my car, sleeping anywhere in Southern California, slept in the best neighborhoods because it was safer. And I went from doing that 6 weeks later, living in a bungalow up in the Hollywood Hills, like 5 blocks from Mulholland Drive off of Laurel Canyon. Look all that up. That's like one of the coolest areas in Southern California. On my way to work, once or twice I saw Madonna jogging early in the morning. I went from making like $200 a week to $700 to $1,500 a week, depending on how well my sales went for that day.
Serena, we're going to take a moment to hear from our sponsor. When we come back, you're going to say how you made this change in this 30 some odd days, because I want to hear it. So
come on back and hear it.
All right, stay with us.
This episode of Self-Help Coaching is brought to you by Proficio. Benjamin Franklin taught that leisure is the time for doing something useful, and that this leisure the diligent person will obtain, but the lazy one never. Visit www.perficio.io, that's PERFICIO.io, where you can transform your idea of leisure to make it actually add to your life.
We're back. You're listening to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast with me, your host, Tony Petrozza. We're talking with Serena Stone, and she's telling me about how she made the change in 30 some odd days when she went from sleeping in her car to living in a Beverly Hills mansion. No, it was something. But she made a change. Now, you intended to make this change, right? You said, "Oh, that's it. I'm just sleeping in the car business, not for me."
Yeah,
And,
yeah, pretty much.
and you said you're going to do it. You're going to make the change in X amount of time.
Right. And I just want to reiterate, it wasn't a mansion.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
was-
bungalow up near the crest where Mulholland Drive was, 5 blocks below, with a view of the valley when you could see it and it wasn't all smoggy.
Yeah.
And the way that I did that was I combined 3 different programs that I was taking, and the one that I think really helped a lot was a 30-day program. And so now what I'm doing is I'm using that as a model. I'm not copying what is in there. I'm using it as a genesis for the ideas that I'm going to create now, because that was like 40 years ago. So some of the stuff in there is dated. 40? 35. Don't want to sound too old.
Yeah.
And I was I
don't mind saying I was in the Army 83 to 87. You don't have to say when you were in military. And when I was in LA was 92. I was, it was 92, and that's when I was homeless. I was there 92, 93. But okay, that was just me adding my crap. Okay, go on.
Yeah, and that's right around the time that I was doing all that. So so I applied the information from this program. There was another program that I got from HMI called the Mental Bank, which is very powerful also. It rewrites your mental script.
Well, what is HMI?
Hypnosis Motivation Institute.
Okay, right.
It's in Tarzana, California, and it's run by George Kappas right now. Okay. George was my boss for a while. So so I combined those 2 things and one other thing I can't think of right now. So I was creating my own course with the 3 different things that I had. And here's the cool thing. I didn't spend more than 40 minutes a day with it. I did it in the morning when I woke up. I got out of my car and I went and sat somewhere near my car and I read it. And that night I'd go and sit on a stoop where there was nice bright light from one of the street lights. And that was my reading light. It was perfect. So I sat down and I did all 3 of these things, and it would only take me like 15, 20 minutes to go through all of it. That 30-day program, each one of them was only 1 page long. And each one of them was broken down pretty simply. Here's what we did yesterday. Here's what we're focusing on today. Here's the assignment. And it's a great model to follow. And so in 30 days, I didn't create the change in 30 days. So because it took me 6 weeks before I signed the lease. But I went from homeless, living in my car there by following all of this stuff. And when the 30 days came, I still kept doing it. So more stuff kept coming. Eventually I stopped doing all of that and all of it went away. Isn't that cool?
Wait. What do you mean it went away? Your prosperity?
I lost the house. I lost the job.
Okay.
I went back to a less paying job. I ended up getting an apartment. But you know what? Here's the thing. All of the things, when I say I lost all of that, I still had abundance in my life because I had great friends. I had great connections. I was doing fun things. I wasn't making a lot of money, but the thing that I learned in life is if you do things right, you don't need to make a lot of money. But now I do want to experience in my life making a lot of money because there's new things that I want to do.
Yes.
Before I go.
I'm always revising my goals and aspirations. I mean, it just happens organically, as I live, and along with living comes aging. As I mentioned, I'm 56 years old now, and I've been a very goal-oriented person for most of it. But if you can look at all my list of goals in the last 30 years, you'll see a great variety and a great different emphases and different focuses and even different well, I say different values, but not major value changes, but certainly values will shift around. As I mentioned earlier before, when we were prepping for the interview, like just in the last few years, Steve Jobs has become an icon of mine. I didn't care about tech billionaires before, and now I want to be one. I'm going to be one. And and I was talking to someone about how my new icons are tech billionaires, and like Tony, what it's all about you with the money for you. I'm like, you know what? I don't have a single money goal. I don't have a single money goal. They're all business goals. I want to have, the business has to do this, the business has to do that. That's the goals I have, and the money just follows. The money, that's the idea. The money follows. I don't have a single money goal.
I just saw an interview with Elon Musk where he says, I'm not a billionaire. I get paid minimum wage, no overtime, but I'm working overtime all the time. When I'm working regular, I'm on overtime.
Yeah, he's the man. I love him. He is just fantastic.
He does it because he's a visionary. He doesn't care about the money. He does it. From what I understand, he's got houses all over the place, but he sleeps at his plants because he's right there where the work is, and that's where he wants to be.
I want to talk about an extraordinary person. His story is great. How he emigrated over here from Africa, and then he started. He was a prodigy, and he started a PayPal with a couple other guys, and they all number of them went on to also critical success. But him, he especially, he went on to form Tesla, and other. He does other things, and SpaceX. He is just fantastic. What an awesome
and you know what? I would say that like with NLP, there's people out there that are just natural NLPers. I was I'm gonna just put this out there. I was with my ex today, and we were talking about the time that she was cutting Rex's hair, Rex Sykes.
She cut Rex's hair?
Yes. She was a hairstylist, and I was there, and I'm listening to them, and I'm going, well, if there's like an NLP scoring system, Lisa's ahead.
Lisa's ahead.
it's because I seriously think a lot of like women's intuition, and let's just leave it at that. Women's intuition is a big part of what NLP wants you to be like. Because all of the stuff that you learn from NLP is, again, to get to that unconscious competence point with yourself. Exactly. And if it's your clients, that's what you're doing with them. Your NLP is just to get people to unconscious competence as quickly as possible, or getting to a second nature with what they want to do. That's another way of saying it. That's easier, I think.
I was totally drawn to NLP when I was introduced to it by my acting mentor. I only had two mentors in my life, Rex Sykes and my acting mentor, George Morrison. And before George, I never even thought I would ever have a mentor, but he so blew me away. And he taught a renowned acting school. And in his instruction, he introduced NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. This is 95. I had never heard of it, and I was blown away by it, and it drew me in. He also talked about other things like Ericksonian methods and other schools of thought that blew me away, like Gestalt, And that's when I really started learning about this stuff. And one of the guys I was considering getting certified. I had a desire to get certified. But I put together a list which included Rex Sykes, but my enthusiasm waned, and I never got certified until 2012. But I'm so drawn to it, it's people. A lot of people don't understand it, or they read propaganda or unfair criticisms about it. And there's definitely it deserves lots of criticism because there's so much hype about it and other stuff, but it is a blend of both science and art. It is subjective. It is about you looking to achieve something and use various methods to do it. And that could be on yourself, or you could be with someone else. And it's the tools are just fascinating, the methods. And most of it is not even original. It's codified. Oh, let me get that, put that in NLP. Most of it is somebody else's stuff.
Okay, so here, check this out. You keep talking, and then I come up with these epiphanies in my brain.
I'm your muse.
I'll send you a diamond necklace.
All right.
Oh, I point to my wrist, a diamond necklace. So here's the epiphany I just had. All right, so I already understood. Anyways, here it is. Hypnosis is one of the best ways for our minds to learn. NLP is one of the best ways for us to change. I think that's a very solid statement.
Yes.
Because I was taught a long time ago, when you're in hypnosis, you're in a learning mode. Your brain is ready to accept information at a deep level. And with the NLP, I mean, what is it we're doing? We're trying to change people. I got this happening. Well, don't do that.
That's where it's at. And when I created Proficio, which is my self-help coach app, and it's the world's first true self-help coach because it's completely automated. When someone is coaching you to do self-help, that's obviously a misnomer, but that's personal development. But anyway, aside from that, I don't want to digress. Proficio is a self-help coach that lives on the e-learning platform. Why did I go that route? Well, I did that route for a number of reasons, not the least of which is the business model, which is all about getting content partners. Someone was talking to me just a few days ago. We're talking about capitalizing Proficio, and this person had a lot of experience in marketing and television, and he had such a misconception that he had a difficult time straightening out. Even though I have the website and I was talking to him on the phone for some time about how I want to get content partners, which are the authors of other self-help courses, personal development courses. And those people are not I don't want them to be my customers. They're not going to be my customers. He had such a, I'm not going to say capitalist mindset, but this idea that you always got to have these customers, making a sale or money, that my business model of being content partners, it was alien to him. Yeah, we're going to have customers, but they're going to be people taking these people's courses. The content partners won't be my customers. So he's saying, so wait, let me understand. It's going to cost them nothing to get on your platform. I'm like, yeah, nothing. And he's like, and it's going to nothing. And you're just going to split it with them 50-50. I said, absolutely. Net though, net, that's, I'm not going to eat it. It's going to be a net 50-50 share. And to him, it was like, my God, it seemed like he was so sales oriented. He grabbing for the money, which you got to get the money. Don't get me wrong. But one of the things I want to do is not reinvent capitalism, but I want to have a company that's really that profit shares and really gives capitalism a better name, because my business model for Auxilium, which is my company, and Proficio is win-win-win. I win because I'm going to work with content partners like yourself. Anyone who's an author of a quality self-help course will get them on Proficio, on Proficio, and any self-help student can learn it, and it's all about the learning. This is where I'm coming full circle here, because learning is where it's at. That's where it's at. That's the thing that any human must be great at in order to get what they really want. Because
that's why you asked me about whys.
There it is. I came full circle. There was various circles here. There was bigger and bigger circles. So it's all about learning. But the win-win model is, I'm going to win the course partner, the content partner, which is someone else with their course, and especially the self-help student. In Proficio, which is this new experience where I'm taking self-help and marrying it with coaching, but automated coaching. See, that's the beauty of it, because automated coaching is where it's at. Because when we have a human interventionist, whether it be a hypnotist like yourself, or NILPer, or any, or a therapist, that everything has pros and cons. I mean, your own firing squad has pros and cons. Okay, everything has pros and cons, and there's a number of cons to human interventionists, and I've removed that with Proficio. So now it's just a computer interventionist, and with that, I think that I'm going to bring, I think that Proficio is going to bring in a success revolution. So people, why? Because people are learning what they need to learn, but most importantly, persisting. This is now we're coming really full circle. The whole thing is a spiral, which I talked about at the outset of our interview. Persistence to the key to success. That's the real value of Proficio does, is coaching a person to consistently take action towards their goals. That's because that's where it's at. That
Right.
nothing.
It makes so much sense. If the person goes, oh, my alarm's going off. Oh, I'm supposed to do my 10-minute thing through Proficio. And they press a button and now they're doing it. No more effort. No looking for where to go to get the thing to hook up or whatever.
Right.
The app like that is great. I love that.
And it's totally customized because it has to be, because what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me absolutely won't work for somebody else. It has to. People are unique. People are individuals, and they have to be treated that way. Otherwise, you're going to have limited success or much worse. So that's where it's at. So learning and persistence, hypnosis, NLP, revolutionary thinking, Elon Musk, it's all related, you know, and I love it all. I love it all.
That's all related because it's all energy.
It is.
And you know, here's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Here we go. Here we go. No, I'm kidding.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
No,
what issue is it now, Serena? No, go on.
It's the word mindset.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I understand when you say mindset, you're looking at the tools, the mental tools that you have to do whatever you're doing for that particular thing. But here's my thing. And let me just say thing one more time, thing. So here's my thing with that. When you say mindset, that makes it sound like your mind is set.
Yes. Yeah, I got you.
Your mind is set. These are the tools I use. Well, guess what? Tomorrow, the tools that you're using may not work anymore. There may be differences. You may have to add this to it. So now you got to change that. So now your mindset is behind. If you stick to that mindset, it's, you know, go, which way would be going away? It's going away.
Right.
It's
right.
So now you're stuck in your mindset. And I also, a metaphor that I use with this is, all right, so think of mindset like you're in a rowboat on the Mississippi River. You row out to the middle of the river and you toss out the anchor. There you are, you're set. Your mind is now set in the middle of the river. What's happening? The water's going past you. It's rocking the boat. Right. Here comes a log. Boom, hits the boat. Now you lift up the anchor, and now this is mindset. Now you're just flowing with the water. You're just sitting right there. You're moving. You're going somewhere. There's no more turbulence. Oh, there's a log. You can put your hand on it. It's running right next to you. It's going a little faster for some reason. Oh, it's the beavers. They're taking it to their dam. So
right. So you must be adaptable. That's what you're alluding to.
Right. And it's the issue also of what's happening inside of your mind. There is nothing in your mind that is set. The cells are continually changing. There's always electricity being shot through. There's always chemicals moving this way and that way and whichever other way to make the thoughts happen inside of your mind. So there's no set inside of your mind. So I'm thinking of, you know, helping people go from the idea of mindset to where mindset's kind of a part of the thing that's holding you back. Whereas if you go into mind flow, once you get into mind flow, now you're flowing. So there's another 3-word thing I have is mindset, mission, move.
Mindset, mission, move.
Right. And the way that it is it talks of the way that it was originally put together was to talk about mindset and how to create a better mindset. Well, my thought now is let's take mindset and say, you don't want mindset anymore. This is where we're starting because this is where your brain is. You keep thinking about mindset. Let's think about mind flow. What's the next part? Mission. What's your mission? To get to where you want to be quicker. How do you do that? You don't get there by sitting there. You don't get there by being set. You do a flow. You flow to it. Now, what's the last part? Move. What else is there to say but move towards your target?
Absolutely. I think I read it maybe in conversations with God back in the 90s, but it's not my original thought or original thing. But there's 3, just as you said, it's all energy. We are energy. And there's 3 levels of creation: thought, word, and action. And it's all energy. There's different higher levels of energy. The thought is the first energy, but it is energy and it is creation. And the mouth, the words, writing or spoken, are just a higher energy. And the actions where it's at, because that's the only thing that's going to make something happen. And you may have to take 1 million actions to get the goal, to achieve the goal. And whatever it takes, you must adapt. And I tell you, as when I worked as a life coach, personal development coach, and in my own goal achievements, I found that what a person thinks is going to happen when they achieve the goal, it's never that way. It's never that way. It's always, oh, I thought it would be this. No, because it's another thing I learned. I think also from Conversations with God, which is one of the most greatest self-help books I've ever read. Have you heard that one by Neil Donald?
No, I haven't. I'll have to check that out.
I recommend it, by Neil Donald Walsh. And that is, in life, there's only 2 things. And the great misconception that we people have is that we know how things are going to be, and we absolutely don't. But there's only 2 things. There's the concept of something. Oh, that would be like that. And then and that's what we think how something's going to be like. And then there's the experience of something, and that's how it's actually like. And more often than not, you find that the experience of something is nothing like the concept you had. Nothing like it. And that's been my experience, and in my life, as well as in working with clients and reading personal development stuff. And with that, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor, because we just organically talked because we have such a great rapport and conversation. We'll take a moment to hear from our sponsor, and we'll come right back with Serena Stone. Great stuff.
This episode of Self-Help Coaching is brought to you by Proficio. When people learn something, they want to use it so it has real value. And the best teacher is experience. Visit www.proficio.io. That's PERFICIO.io, where Proficio will have you taking action with what you're learning immediately. You'll be closer to your goals before you even realize it.
You're listening to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast with me, your host, Tony Petrozza, having a fantastic conversation with Serena Stone, talking about a number of things regarding personal development, NLP, hypnosis, mind mastery, magic, all of it and more. Let's get back to the mind magic mastery. And do you have a recent success you can share with us?
Can I just say I'm amazed at how you just roll that off the tip of your tongue. That's so well done.
I'm a cunning linguist.
All right. So a recent success story. How about one that's not so recent that I love?
But no further back than 10 years.
All right, I'll pretend it's no further. Oh, this happened yesterday.
Okay, very good. Well, it doesn't have to be that recent. Okay, of course.
So we were at the Wolf River with my high school buddies. Every year we get together at the Wolf River to go rafting and golfing and stuff like that. And there was the son and his friend of one of my high school buddies, and he was talking about how he does walking races for high school, and he's working on getting into it for a collegiate level. And they were having a sectional race right near where we were for the camping trip. So the next day he's going to go race, and I say, so how do you do in the races? He goes, I usually finish like around 4th or 5th, and my coach keeps saying I could do better or whatever. And I'm listening to what he's talking about, and then all of a sudden he says, yeah. And he points to his friend that's with him. He goes, yeah, we always cross the line together. And I went, oh, that's what he's doing. He's only going as fast as his friend can, so he can cross the line with his friend. So all I said, and I listened to all this, I said, Jimmy, let me just give you guys a suggestion. What if you guys met across the line when you guys are all done and just go your own pace? And he goes, yeah, we could do that. And then right then someone went, dinner's ready. And I went, okay, great. And then we didn't talk anymore. So all the time that he's been racing, he's never finished better than 5th. He goes to this sectional race. He wins. He goes to state, he wins. He goes to regional, he wins. He goes to the one for the entire country and he ends up in the top 10. So the question is, would he, it's like the story about the elephant with the twine around its foot and the stake in the ground. The elephant doesn't know it can get away, so it doesn't. Right. And I think that's kind of what it was. I allowed him, I'm not going to take any credit for this. All I did was I allowed him permission to do something differently than what he was doing.
Right.
And he knew it was the right thing to do, so he did it.
And you said it to him in the right way. And that's a big thing, permission. A lot of times people think they need permission to do something. Permission to change, permission to do something that some other people might disapprove of. What they think, a lot of times they think just them changing will be disapproved of, so they don't change. Permission to pursue a goal. So you had a conversation with this person. Was he a client, or was it?
No, he was a 17-year-old son of one of my high school friends.
But you gave him, you allowed him to have permission, and that's a great principle to, and so I'm going to take some liberty here, or some license. Serena's here, I'm here, we're having a great conversation. Those listening or perhaps watching, you have permission, all right? Tony Petrozza and Serena Stone, to a lesser extent, maybe, we're giving you permission to change, to pursue your goals, your wants, especially think about, I know people also have a thing called ecology. So think about others, all right? Think about, when we talk about well-formed outcomes, which is a fancy way of saying goals. Think about ecology, which means how will it affect others? That's something you got to think about. Don't do things, don't be a bull in a china shop. Think about the effects it's going to have on others. But I'm giving you permission. Go for it. Go for it. The most common regret that and this has been in a number of studies that they've taken for with old people, octogenarians or such. The most common regret that people have is that they wish that they had taken more chances. That is by far the most common regret. They wish they had taken more chances, more risks, taken more action. So go for it.
You want a recent one that I did?
No more. No. Let's hear it.
Well, I gotta go, Tony.
No, I was only kidding.
So she's a business associate, but she's letting me do my what I call my instant change workshop, and it takes 20. My instant change workshop is 20 minutes long.
So it's actually 20 minute change.
No.
Oh, okay, it's 20 minutes to learn the change instantly.
No. The whole workshop is 20 minutes long. I do it Sunday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific time. I decided with all the different people that I'm talking to and everything, Pacific time is one that everybody can kind of relate to. They got where that is in their head. Because if I say Central time, they go, well, what time is that compared to Pacific time?
Central time's not even in America anymore.
Right, it's Argentina or something. So she's kind of a client. She's like one of my beta testers for my instant change workshop. When I'm making changes with it, I'll do them with her before I do the Sunday workshop. She comes to me with, I don't know how to do this. I want to do this. And then I'll do the instant change workshop. And then the next week it's like, oh yeah. I'm not even worried about that anymore. I got it covered. So is it that it's happening so quickly that she's just not even aware of the fact that there was a change that happened and she's just now accepted it? Like when your elbow hurts for days and all of a sudden you don't even think about it anymore. So that kind of thing. So she's going, okay, here's the thing. I don't think I can. She needed to get to LA. She was in Brazil, not really Brazil. I can't remember the name of the city, but let's just say Brazil, somewhere around there in South America. So she's in South America. She needs to come to the States, and she's having all kinds of problems with her visa and the shots, and they're making it really difficult for her to leave that and come to the States. And she said, I don't think I'm going to make it. So we did the instant change workshop. She was having a little bit of money difficulties too. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I got the money I need to do and I'm going, everything was cleared. And I'll tell you how it all was. So then I got to see all the pictures of her meeting all the people that were working with together and such, and it was great. And then she was kind of talking about, I don't know, I might stay in America for a while. I might, see if we can get together, whatever. And then and then I got in touch with her one day and she goes, yeah, I'm going to Australia. So how much of what I helped her with in the instant change workshops that I was doing with her was an influence on her doing these big geographical moves for her business, because wherever she's going, she's doing her business. And her business is called Broadcast Brilliant. She teaches people how to do what you're doing as effectively as they possibly can. Sit in front of the camera. Here's how you do all the Zoom stuff. Here's how you do your lighting. And here's how you word what you need to say to make everything work right. Obviously, I haven't taken her class.
I hate to say it, Serena, but I'm calling BS in that story. That was a fictitious story. No, I'm kidding. That is, you gotta see, for those listening, you gotta see Serena's face right there. You gotta go to YouTube and check out Serena's face. Of course, that's a great story, man. There's nothing like empowering people. When I worked as a one-on-one coach and helping people, get their outcomes, and especially going from dysfunction to function, boy, it's one of the greatest feelings. Oh, such a delight, the great reward. It's really the great reward of coaching. It's and sometimes can the NLP are like, this shit really works. I
know. Can I share this with you?
Yeah.
So we got on the live video on Facebook to talk for a little bit yesterday. And she said, yeah, let me show you where I'm staying. She's in a villa on the ocean with a swimming pool outside, one of those infinity swimming pools. And I'm going, how did you swing that?
Fantastic. Australia.
And that's like where I'm living right now. I'm in a very nice 1-bedroom apartment. I pay $2 a month for it.
$2 a month?
Yeah, and you know how I did that?
How?
Through Magical Mind Mastery.
I love it.
And if you too want to learn how to do that in 6 easy courses.
6 easy payments or wow.
No, it's got to be a one lump sum payment.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
It's $2. It's $2.
But are you serious, or are you just being facetious?
Yeah, this stuff I'm kidding around. I don't know if anyone could do what I did, because I did a lot of finagling to figure this out. Everything's legal. There's nothing, under the table happening here. Actually, Uncle Sam is helping me a little bit here.
The term legal is also a gray word.
You say great or gray?
Gray. There's a lot of gray here. Serena, this has been
like the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Serena, this has been a most excellent discussion. Unfortunately, some people may say fortunately, but I think fortunately, it's coming to an end. Great stuff. Really, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, and I always enjoy talking with you too, Tony. This is fun. I love it.
We got a great rapport. We really do. Do you have any final remarks for the audience?
Yes, I do. All right. So, if anyone wants to know more about what I offer within the Magical Mind Mastery, feel free to reach out at me. You can see my email right there. It's enchantressserena@gmail.com. If you'll notice, there's 3 S's in the middle. So it's enchantressserena.com. I'll be more than happy to exchange some emails with you. This is how I've started some really great relationships with friends. I've also started some great training for people to do things better in their life and Magical Mind Mastery is all about teaching people how to live a magical life. And that's what I'm dedicating my life to.
And I understand you also have a free gift for the audience?
The free gift, yes.
Don't get cheap on me now, Serena. You said you got to. Okay, yes.
Here's what I'm offering you. Contact me at the enchantressserena@gmail.com and say, I would like my free hypnosis session. I will give you a totally free 20-minute hypnosis session. And as I was saying with the Instant Change Workshop, in 20 minutes, I'm changing people's lives. So give me 20 minutes to share with you what I can provide and what you want to change in your life, and just apply it and watch what happens. See what happens, feel what happens.
Thank you very much.
Experience it.
Serena, that's a great offer. Now, do you have also a website?
Right now, my website is down, but if you want to jot it down for future reference, I should have that up in a month. We're redoing it for our new program, and it's called serenastone.com. SERENA, just like how it is in the email address there. So SERENA Stone, STONE.com. That's my website, and just for right now, we have it down.
And do you want to mention any of your social media? I know you're on Facebook and on Instagram.
Facebook, serenastone.397. You can reach me there. If you just put in Serena Stone, you should be able to find that. I'm just mostly focusing on Facebook because I'm getting great results with ads and such on Facebook.
You know, I noticed you got 397. You know, when I first created my Facebook profile was like 15 years ago. I coyly put Tony Petrozza 665, not 666 like everybody expects, 665. Now, and this, you know, and I thought, okay, this would be a good conversation piece. People will say, "Oh, Tony, you're so cute, you're so clever." Put in 665. Not a single person in all these years has ever mentioned it to me. And where this comes from, of course, from the movie The Omen, right, from the 70s. There was Damien, who was supposed to be the Antichrist, and he had a birthmark on his head, and which had an attribution, something attributed to the book of Revelations. The mark of the devil was 666, and they found the birthmark on his head in the shape of 666. Now, I used to tell people that, you know, back in my just call it my pre-development days, before I sobered up, and back in my real crazy days, hardcore punk rock days, I used to tell people that I had a birthmark on my head. You know, if you look into the hair, and I turn my head down, I go, if you look closer, you can see it 665. Missed it by that much, you know. And so I'm like, yeah, I see that. I saw that coming with you. But the point is that nobody has ever mentioned it in all these years, 15 years, a 665. Nobody appreciates my little subtle humors. Maybe
they just gave me 397. I thought, okay, well, there must be 396 other Serena Stones.
That's what I thought. I thought there was some significance.
I know. They just gave it to me. I just left it. What's the difference?
Great stuff. I really enjoyed this conversation, Serena. It's been a pleasure having you. Really, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and if anyone that sees this wants to get in touch with me, there it is. You can see it. Pause it and look. EnchantressSerena@gmail.com.
Thank you very much, Serena. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the audience for listening. And remember, everyone, we're all responsible for ourselves, and we can all use a little help. With that, I'll see you at the next podcast interview. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast, where insights, attitudes, and methods for success get illuminated. Learn what leaders and change workers have done and are doing now to create magnificent futures. Remember to visit our website at self-helpcoaching.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Self-Help Coaching Podcast.